greenhouse is very full at the moment. I have loads of seedlings, I have tomato plants, and it's doing extremely well. As you can see, I also have a banana in here. This one has been inside during the winter, and I brought it in here to give it some extra light so that it starts to grow properly. I shall repot it and start to feed it, and then we shall have a beautiful banana plant in the garden in the summer. I like them in the garden because they give such a tropical look, and when the cottage garden is going over a little, these come into their own, these and the cannas and all the other plants which look tropical and make a big statement in the garden. These chrysanthemums have done very well. I grew these from seed too. These were some of the first seed I sowed early March time, and they really come on very well and they're shooting well. This one has a cream flower, and I have quite a few of these, so hopefully these will flower nicely in my borders this year. This is a Penstabon. It's a cutting I took last year. This is a white one, and I usually take them every year because they don't always get through the winter. But this year, of course, everything has, so I've got some spares. But it's always a good idea to do this. They grow into a nice shrub. They're perennial, so you get lovely flowers every summer, and I really love them. I grow all different colours too. This is an Nicotiana sylvestris. I grow this one every year, and I love it because it's a very tall plant, and in the evening the scent is just wonderful. The leaves are a bit like foxglove leaves, and the flower spike comes up about July time, June, July, and the scent in the evening is just wonderful. It has a long white flower, and many of them on the flower spike. But it's a lovely plant to grow, and you don't need very many of them. This is Rudbeckia rustic dwarfs. I've grown these from seed this year. You can see they grow quite easily. It's a lovely plant. It's rustic dwarfs are the browns and yellows, nice autumny colours, autumnal colours, and it does flower quite late in the year. But I do like this one. It's a great one to grow. So I'll have plenty for the garden and plenty to give my friends. So this is a clematis cutting I took just a few days ago, but I think it's all right. It's in the propagator, so it should be okay. But I've forgotten to put the label in, so now I don't know which one it is because I can't remember which plant I took it from. So anyway, I'll have to wait until it flowers now before I'll know what it is. But they do very well in my garden, and I just love clematis. This is Brugmansia sanguinea. I've grown these from seed this year. That's a lovely plant. It has downward facing trumpets like the Brugmansias do, and it's perfumed in the evening, and this one is a red, dark red. So this will grow, hopefully, if we have a good summer, to about 5 to 6 feet, and then it will flower. So we should have flowers late summer from this one. Wonderful plants. This is Amaranthus velvet curtains, and I've grown this from seed. I think if you watched some of my previous videos, you'll see some back in March time when I was sowing them, and then a bit later on I was potting them on. But this is the largest one so far, and this will go out in the garden in about May time, end of May. A lovely plant, and it looks great against all the softer colours in the garden. So I always grow these sort of tropical looking plants in the garden. These are Petunia grandiflora, grown from seed this year, and they're already flowering. So these will make very good plants for the hanging baskets that I shall be planting soon. So they come in many colours, and I've got all sorts of mixed colours coming on. So these will be great later on in the summer. And here in the chaos underneath my staging in the greenhouse are some agapanthus plants. Well, there's 3 pots of them in here. And I've just shoved them in here for the winter, just to get them out of the cold and the wet, really. And they've done very well, considering I've not watered them or done anything to them at all. And these are mixed colours. I grew these from some plugs I bought at Chelsea a couple of years ago. They haven't flowered yet, but then agapanthus have to be pot bound before they flower. And these have been in the pots a couple of years, so I'm hoping that this year they will flower. This is Canna Bethany. This was a new one I had last year, and I just split it up and put it in the greenhouse for the winter. And it's really doing quite well. It's just in an ordinary plastic pot for the winter. So this one has an orange and yellow flower, and I like the variegated foliage because it goes with the other variegated things in the garden too. So I have this one, and I have the dark-leaved red flowering cannas, and I have other ones which have red, yellow and orangey flowers on them. And I usually grow them all in pots because then you can just drop them into the garden. As the season progresses and some of the spring flowering and the summer flowering plants die back and they leave a gap, then you've got a nice pot. You can just drop it in and it gets covered by the other foliage, so it's not seen, and then you get a new plant growing up in the same place. And I do that with quite a few plants actually. I will often grow a large terracotta pot of summer flowering perennials and things, and then just drop in at the time they're at their best, because my garden is so small that it has to look great for me all the time, so it's the best way of doing it. But anyway, this Canna Bethany is a very nice one. If you see one, add it to your collection. This is a climbing French bean. This one's Blue Lake. This does very well. I grow these from seed every year. If you put 4 or 5 of these in a large pot and stand them in a sunny corner of the garden where it's nice and warm, and feed them well, water them well, you'll have more beans than you can eat. Here's another interesting plant. This is an ornamental corn. I've not grown this before, so I thought I'd give this a go from seed this year. And you can see the nice silver edges to the leaves. So it'd be interesting to see what this does and whether it has an ornamental seed head as well. But it's a nice plant and it's growing well. I have quite a few of those, so they should look good. This is Datura, the same family as the Brugmansia, this Brugmansia and Datura. And this one's interesting because whereas the Brugmansias have downward facing trumpets, the Daturas usually have upward facing ones. And this one is quite a small plant. It grows to about 2 to 3 feet tall in the summer, and it has purple and white flowers. They have a white throat with sort of purpley, lilac-y edges to the petals. It's an extremely pretty plant, and it's again scented. But it only grows to, as I say, 2 to 3 feet tall, so it's nice for the border. But I grow these all the time, and I grow these from seeds from plants from last year, so I always have them. My Cosmos are doing very well this year. I've grown all different colours. This is Cosmos Antiquity, and it's growing slowly in the greenhouse now. I don't want them to grow too tall and too fast, so these are growing in very cool conditions. Don't have the heater on now. And that one has a lovely dark red flower, so I'm interested to see what that does this year. I've not had this one before.